Welcome to Gutter Trash, episode 237, Star-Lord of the Hollow Crown. My name is Eric.
And I am Jason.
Howdy do.
Howdy do. Howdy do. How you doing this fine summer day?
I don't know.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why don't you know?
Haven't been feeling great all day. Went to bed at like 6:30 a.m.
Ooh.
So,
Yeah.
In order to make sure that I can actually go to bed tonight, I didn't sleep very long. Yeah. I'm also a little bit hungry. Yeah, things are going wrong.
Oh. I'm sorry. Sorry to hear that.
It's not all of it's your fault.
All right. None of it's my fault.
Well, yeah, it is.
Which part?
The hungry part.
I didn't feed you? I didn't put any food out?
You didn't. We usually eat together prior to a podcast.
At least the movie ones. I don't know.
I'd say most of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's no hard and fast rule. It's just kind of...
It's implied.
Oh. Well, sorry you're passing out from hunger here.
No, I'm not passing out from hunger.
Okay.
I'm passing out from lack of sleep.
Yeah.
I'm just also hungry on top of that.
I did see you wrestle a horse today.
It's true.
That must have been part of what got you
I'm pretty tuckered from
drained,
that.
right? Yeah. He was wrestling the white horse, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah. That's why I keep nodding off.
Oh. Yeah, we were talking about horses. I've never been on a horse.
Oh, yeah, I have.
Yeah.
And,
You had a weird experience with that.
Yeah, I did. If by weird you mean severe allergic reaction, in which my face swelled shut, then yes, I had a very weird reaction.
Yeah. Do you remember it vividly?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because it was, you're young.
I was 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe 5. I was at my daycare.
Out west in Texas.
Out west. Both my parents worked in Ohio, so they dropped me in Texas.
It's a drive, but you find a good sitter.
Right, yeah.
You stick with them.
So this daycare, it was during the summer, I believe, too. So there was always stuff going on because
Weather's nice.
well, that and, they had to deal with a bunch of kids
Right.
all day long from
Right.
morning until evening. Unlike during the school year where they only have to deal with them from like 3 to 6 or something like that.
Right.
So they planned many activities, and one day this activity was they were going to bring a horse around, and then let all the kids ride him. And so I pet the horse, and I got on the horse, and as I was getting on the horse, I felt my face basically imploding.
Oh, man.
And I got super itchy, and I was scratching my eyes, which just made things worse. And my face basically swelled shut, and I could not breathe, and so they had to call my mom, who had to rush me to the doctor.
Wow, that's scary.
Yeah. And I got a steroid shot and cleared it all up. And they said, hey, don't go around horses because you are severely allergic.
Man.
And never been near a horse since.
Wow. Did you go... I can't remember if you went with us. There was a group of us that went to the state fair a few years back.
If it was a group, then no, I did not go.
Okay. Because I was going to say, there's definitely horses there. I couldn't remember if you were there, if you just excused yourself.
Yeah. Also, if it was a fair, I did not go.
Yeah.
I've been places where there are horses around. I just, try to maintain my distance as much as humanly possible.
Right.
Yeah.
So playing the video game today, Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah.
Do you get some sort of like anxious twitch whenever your
No.
character hops on a horse? Okay. So it's not like that.
No.
Okay. Yeah.
And also, horses are just dirty anyway.
They're I don't know. I don't know that much about horses. I don't know. I think they make for good film. Like
Oh.
they look great on film.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But I don't know much about the actual, day-to-day life of a horse or my interaction therewith.
Right. They shit a lot.
And it's big too.
And,
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You saw a horse shit.
Oh, yeah. Well, I saw a horse piss.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
But I have seen a horse shit before, too. Yeah. My parents used to take me on vacation. Well, obviously, they would go on vacation. I would go with them because I was a kid. To Michigan. And we would often visit this place up in Michigan called Mackinac Island,
Oh, yeah.
which is there's like no electricity, or very little electricity there, like for the most part, and no cars. They just use horses to get around, horses and bikes. It's a very old, historical landmark. Yeah.
Sounds awesome.
It's kind of cool. Yeah. I mean, obviously they do have some electricity because it is a giant tourist trap. So
Right.
Yeah.
They gotta have a credit card machine.
Right. Yeah. And also, people do live there on the island as well, but they definitely don't have cars. But they do get around by horses, and so they have an entire army of staff dedicated only to cleaning up horse shit.
Oh, wow.
And so one time we were, I don't know if we were just walking around or if we were actually in like one of the carriages, horse-drawn carriages,
Right.
going around the island, where but it was a situation where the horse stopped and then just in the middle of the street just dropped a massive deuce right in front of a guy with a shovel and a pail. And there was one who was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." And the guy was just like, "It looks like shit to you, but it's bread and butter to me."
Now there's a silver lining kind of guy. He'd be good, like in a crisis situation. So that didn't bother you riding? Near
No,
a horse?
it's pretty
Just
much
can't
just
touch 'em,
touching.
right.
Yeah.
How if I say the word horse really loud? Horse! Nothing?
Yeah.
No. Okay.
Just wonder what the hell's wrong with you.
Right.
Yeah.
I'd be, I don't know, I think I would be a little nervy about getting on a horse.
Yeah.
I don't think I would want to. I think they're pretty. But, I think octopuses are pretty. I don't want to get on one of those either.
Yeah, I don't, I mean, even,
Octopi, sorry.
whatever. Even, before I found out that I was deathly allergic, it just, always seemed to me like I never got why, like, it seems like girls, especially, like, the young girls, like, why they're so obsessed with, like, riding horses
Right.
and stuff.
I think it's a masturbatory thing.
Could be,
know.
yeah, I guess.
I don't know.
I don't know.
That and, like, they have pretty
Little
hair.
girls, write in.
Yeah.
Let us know.
Yeah.
Send us an email.
that should be like 97% of our listenership, right? I remember I was at the grocery when I was a kid, and we walked outside, and like while we were in the grocery, they had brought this like pony, and it was outside, and you could like have your kid's picture
Right.
taken on the horse for like $5. And even then, I was a kid, and I was like, that just seems wrong, because I looked over and that thing just looked like the saddest animal. Like if it was telepathic, it would have sent out the words "kill me."
Right.
Yeah. And I was just like, man, this looks like an awful existence.
I imagine, though, most animals are just miserable.
You think?
Hell yeah.
Like non-domesticated?
Just all animals. Yeah. Domesticated and non-domesticated.
My dog and cat seem happy. They just sleep and eat
I
all
don't
the
know. I've seen them. They look kind of sad.
Really? You
Yeah.
think?
Uh-huh.
There's all they do is
Every time I
nap and
see
eat.
Uma, she's just looking at me just like, why is this happening?
Well, she's a little anxious. She gets that from my side of the family. I think they're good. Oh, man. Yeah. This is the Equestrian Hour on the Gutter Trash Network. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Star-Lord
the Hollow Crown.
Star-Lord and the Hollow Crown, yeah. He does not get around on a horse.
No, he does not.
No.
He gets by on his own steam occasionally.
Mm-hmm.
And has a spaceship.
Creatively named.
Ship.
That's right.
Yeah. Because Chris Claremont.
And you know, he probably had some sort of like name for it, like YQXZ754. And he's like, no, wait a minute. Oh my god, this is good. I'm gonna call it Ship. That's fucking funny.
As far as I know, not the first time that he had ever written a comic with a sentient spaceship named Ship in it.
Oh, well,
this may be the first one, but it's not the only one.
he was like, I can't let that go.
Right.
He's like, the people didn't respond right the first time. I gotta bring that back into the limelight, and maybe people latch on this time.
Because I believe when he wrote X Factor, he wrote Apocalypse as having a sentient spaceship named Ship.
Really?
And then it eventually became X Factor's headquarters.
Huh. Was that supposed to be a tie-in, you think?
I don't think so.
No?
Because I'd say Star-Lord pretty obscure from the 70s up until maybe 6 years ago.
Right.
Yeah. Not a lot of comics with him in it.
I'm sure I've seen some with him on the cover, and I didn't even know the name of the character.
Right.
You know, like in the last few years, the Guardians of the Galaxy stuff, like the Annihilation stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
That's pretty much where he made his resurgence.
Mm-hmm.
I think prior to that, he appeared in a couple of issues of a Thanos ongoing that I don't know ever existed.
I remember Thanos.
But apparently it did.
I remember those. They're probably in our quarter box.
Then there was a mini-series in like the mid-90s featuring a different version of Star-Lord.
Oh.
And I do remember, I think that's around the first time I ever heard of Star-Lord, because they reprinted, I believe, these stories back then in the mid-90s, or sort of tie-in. Because I remember seeing the John Byrne art and thinking, that's weird. I mean, I love John Byrne, especially at the time.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like, I didn't know that there was this character called Star-Lord that he ever worked on. And then promptly forgot about it. Then I think years later I wound up seeing just Star-Lord art online, drawn by John Byrne. Mm-hmm. Just thinking, oh, this must be one of those weird things that he worked on before he broke in.
Right.
But no, it was a Marvel character.
Yeah. Yeah, I had no idea. Star-Lord.
Star-Lord.
And I'm looking here at the cover of this book, and it looks absolutely nothing like anything that's inside of this book.
Not a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's got the giant-ass Guardians of the Galaxy logo at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it has zero to do with that. Other than the fact that Star-Lord is currently in the Brian Bendis written Guardians of the Galaxy comic.
Right.
And, well, I guess he was in the previous Guardians of the Galaxy
was he?
as well.
Was he?
Yeah. The Annihilation stuff.
And this cover it looks like Ultimate Star-Lord.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like even the design of the cover, it's got those stripes like the Ultimate
Oh,
Universe.
Yeah. Yeah, he does not look like if you showed me a picture of this guy and then a picture of the original version of Star-Lord, I would have no idea that they're supposed to be the same person.
Right.
Zero idea.
I guess characters evolve. I mean, we found out last night how Black Panther originally looked.
It's true. That's true.
It's a little different.
But, at the same time, that was just a sketch.
Okay.
And not how he actually looked by the time he was...
In the printed book, right. What was his name back then?
The Coal Tiger.
The Cold?
Coal.
Coal, okay, like...
Yeah, like...
Oh, okay, black as coal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're trying to find a way not to say that. You're like the thing that Superman crushes into diamonds.
I was gonna say the thing that you use to power trains.
Oh. Electricity.
You grill over.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. Coal. Many uses.
But they probably intended it as black as coal
Right.
because 60s Stan Lee subtlety is just not an option.
Yeah, he's like, what, Jack? What's real black? Tell me something that's real black. He's like, I don't know, coal. He's like, that's it. The coal tiger.
Characters can evolve, and that's fine, but and then you can even change the designs of characters' costumes.
Some might say it's needed every 10 years or so.
I don't know about needed, but it's neat to see sometimes. But at the same time, maybe you could still look at those two things and see the through line.
Right.
But yeah, whatever this is on the cover is, honestly, it's just a dude in a suit of armor.
Yeah. With a little red circle where his heart should be.
Right. Which, I don't get what that means. But
It looks kind of Iron Man-ish a little.
Bit.
Ultimate Iron Man style.
I know Iron Man is part of the new Guardians of the Galaxy.
Maybe he designed this suit.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be. He could have maybe designed something that was like a version of his old costume to give it a tie-in.
Right.
Because again, even in the previous Guardians of the Galaxy series, where Star-Lord was one of the main characters in there, he had a completely different costume, but at least you could look at it and see elements.
Right. Yeah. Like similarities in design.
Right, yeah. But this has nothing. So if anybody is buying this book for the cover alone,
Yeah.
they're going to be disappointed.
I think that's what we're getting down to. We're not just trying to slag on this cover, because it's a fine piece of artwork.
Oh, yeah. I think it's Ed McGuinness.
Is it?
I mean, it's not signed.
I don't recognize this style.
It's either Ed McGuinness or Steve McNiven. I would assume... There it is. Ed McGuinness.
Really?
Yep.
I would never have guessed.
Yeah. Does not do any of the interiors either, because most of these stories were done
Before he was born.
Yeah, could be, maybe. I don't know. I don't know how old that guy is.
Yeah. He was probably a child. He was probably sitting on a horse with a puffy face when this was drawn.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't know why you're using that to.
Because we were just talking about kids. And okay, I won't bring up any more traumatic childhood experiences.
So most of this is all from the mid-70s, late 70s.
Yeah.
With a little bit of stuff from like early 80s.
Yeah, because there was 2 issues of whatever the book was called, Marvel something or other. Marvel Premiere.
Yeah.
And this reprints those 2, and I guess when they reprinted it later, Claremont and Byrne did a 6-page end bookend thing. Oh, yeah.
Michael Golden was the artist of
the
added pieces.
So yeah, they included that in here, and it was weird because it's like you read the 2 stories and then you read the bookends for the story you just read.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, and like they don't. You can figure out pretty easily. You're like, okay, I see this went there and that went there, but it's like they don't reprint it in any sort of like flowing order. Yeah, it's kind of strange.
I mean, it's weird because, I'd like to say that I get why they did that in this book anyway.
To keep it separate, or
right, and also because the stuff that's reprinted from the Marvel Premiere is all in black and white, and the addendum pages are in color. Because I guess they did reprint, the Claremont story in color with the Star-Lord Special Edition in 1982.
Oh, okay.
I
didn't realize they did the color on that.
I would assume.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. I've never seen it. This is the only version of this book I've read.
All right.
It's like you could put those pages in there, like in the order they're supposed to be.
Right.
The 3 opening pages, the John Byrne story, which is in black and white, and then the 3 Michael Golden closing pages, which is back in color. Because
It would make sense.
It would make sense
It's
because they're presenting then like that story as a flashback.
Right. It's like Wizard of Oz or something.
Exactly.
It's like,
Just reverse. Yeah.
It'd be like if someone's like, that movie makes no sense. Some of it's in color and some's not. Why?
Right,
They never explain it. Yeah. But yeah, that would make sense if they would. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know why they did that.
It's weird.
They should have either, put it in the right order, and possibly even they could have just, if they really wanted, if they were worried about making the other stuff look lame, they could have just gray toned it.
Right. Yeah.
If they really were worried about that.
Right.
But I don't know.
But it's fine as is.
Yeah.
Art wise.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, hell, they could have just reprinted the Michael Golden stuff in black and white.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's what I'm saying. They could have just done that because I don't know. I think most people that buy Marvel comics that would open this up like, what the hell? It's in black and white.
Yeah,
that's
$8,
true. And it's $8.
Right.
And there's no ads. Fuck this.
I don't think they'd be complaining about the no ads.
Well, that's half the fun for some of those people.
No, it's not.
Looking at those funny Axe body spray ads.
Nobody's excited about any of those ads.
Probably not. Yeah, once they took away the sea monkeys and the submarines and the grit newspapers, ads aren't very cool anymore.
Comic ads are pretty lame now.
Yeah, they used to be great.
Oh yeah, I would. I'll read an old comic and spend half of the time reading the ad.
Oh, there is. I'd say a more than 50% chance if you buy a comic printed in the 70s,
Right.
that from Marvel or DC especially, that the ads are just as entertaining as the story inside.
Oh yeah. I mean, like, I'll read a comic from the 90s, and the only thing that I get stuck on is VHS was a thing.
Or you see those ads in the back where like they're selling copies of X-Force #1 for $4. Those mail order ads.
Yep.
Like, limit 1. You're like, are you serious? But yeah, once we get past all these nitpicky things that we were confused or
Right.
unsettled
I don't
by.
think we were confused. It's weird. It's an odd choice.
Yeah. It's an odd choice for a cover and for a reprint of the thing inside. I
Right,
think.
yeah. Yeah, so it's sort of split up, or it's not split up, but it's the first appearance of Star-Lord is reprinted first in the book, which makes sense.
Oh yeah, Marvel Preview. That's what
Marvel
it was.
Preview
number
number
4.
And that is written by Steve Englehart and drawn by Steve Gann, and it's 30 pages, something like that.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, 35 pages, something like that. And then the rest of the book, which is about 60 pages worth of material, is done by Chris Claremont and John Byrne. And it is a vastly different tone
Yeah.
than that first 30 pages.
Oh yeah. For sure.
And I kind of liked the first one better.
I definitely did too.
Yeah.
I definitely did too. Because it's darker
Uh-huh.
and weirder. And I honestly, I'm not familiar with Steve Gann, but I like the art better in the
Right.
first one. I mean, it's very sweet looking. It's like got that old sort of Bernie Wrightson-ish kind
Yeah.
of thing going.
Who also does a pinup in this book.
Yeah. So does Jim Starlin,
Oh, yeah?
which makes sense. Just
Sure.
all the outer spacey stuff.
The Bernie Wrightson stuff, not so much.
Right. Maybe he just
don't
likes the guy's
associate
art.
it. Yeah,
There's like swamps and stuff in the beginning.
sure.
There's like a I think the alien crashes in a swamp or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. But were you familiar with Steve Gann before?
I was not. This is the first time I've ever seen his artwork. Yeah.
Pretty good.
Hell yeah. I enjoyed it quite a bit. And I mean, obviously, not to say anything bad about the John Byrne art, too, because it's pretty great as well.
I had heard of that guy.
Yeah,
John Byrne.
well, obviously, I've heard of that guy as well. But I mean, his stuff is great too. But,
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of preferred the first guy.
Yeah, well, you know what? I mean, honestly, like the styles sort of fit those two stories pretty
Oh, yeah.
good though, because the first one is like kind of creepy and earthy. And then the second one is all like just in outer space, and
right.
It's very, I think John Byrne's really clean line style lends itself to that sort of streamlined outer space kind of sci-fi stuff. So I think it works.
So the first story is his origin story, and it is kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
And, because, I guess we can talk a little bit about it, because Star-Lord is still fairly kind of an obscure character.
Oh, yeah. But he's about to be thrust into your face.
Oh, yeah. Right into your face.
Yeah.
Right all up in
In
it.
3D, probably.
Probably, and IMAX.
Yeah. Watch out.
The Guardians of the Galaxy movie is featuring him as the lead character.
Played by the dude from
Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
Andy's his name? I can't remember. The dumb guy.
The dumb guy. I can't remember his character's name. The actor's name is Chris Pratt.
Okay, Chris Pratt.
Because, I hate Parks and Rec.
Right.
So I try not to pay attention to most things about it.
It's a fun show.
It is painfully unfunny.
What if they would have had a Ron Swanson play Star-Lord in the movie?
That's fine.
That'd be cool.
I mean,
like as Ron Swanson, though.
well, yeah. I mean, Ron Swanson is the only good part of that show. But hey, that guy is the voice of Axe Cop, so I mean,
is he really?
You can't get much
pretty
better
cool.
than that.
That's pretty cool. Sidebar: the Axe Cop action figures in the new previews.
Yeah.
There's Axe Cop, the actual cop, and then there's like Mr. Doodoo and his Doodoo henchman or something. I forget who that is. And then there's some like donut with a unicorn horn.
Yeah.
Those are the three that are going to be in the first wave. So
that's awesome.
Kids, put those on your Christmas list.
Yeah. I think sometime this summer the Axe Cop animated series is going to be on. So,
sweet.
Yeah.
With Ron Swanson's voice.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I think Patton Oswalt is doing a voice too.
Oh, that's awesome.
Seems pretty awesome.
That's
on top of the fact that it's Axe Cop, which is just awesome anyway.
Yeah, it is.
Well, let's just talk about Axe Cop.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, Chris Pratt is playing Star-Lord in the Guardians of the Galaxy movie, directed by James Gunn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who directed Slither and Super.
Super? Which one was Super?
Super is the one starring Dwight from The Office and Kitty Pryde from the X-Men.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. I haven't seen
Kevin Bacon as a bad guy.
I have not seen that one.
It's highly recommended by me.
No? Huh. Cool.
But you have seen Slither.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I like that one.
He wrote the Dawn of the Dead remake.
Yeah. So he knows what he's doing.
Oh, yeah, I'm excited. I'm probably way more excited than I should be, considering it's the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Is that why you wanted to read this?
I kind of like Star-Lord.
Okay.
I read the Keith Giffen miniseries from a couple years ago. Part of one of the many
Annihilation
crossovers.
Right.
Which was actually sort of the prequel to the Guardians of the Galaxy series.
The new series, which is selling really well.
Well, not the new series, but the one prior to it.
Okay. I don't know how that one sold. I didn't pay attention.
No.
But the new one's doing well.
Well, it's because Brian Michael Bendis is writing it. Steve McNiven drew it.
And Angela's in it.
And Angela's going to be in it. Going to be in it.
Yeah.
And Neil Gaiman's going to write an issue.
I think we ordered like 10 extra copies of that one.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you care anymore?
Yeah. More on that later.
Right. Yeah, I liked the Keith Giffen miniseries, so yeah, that's the reason I bought this.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
And also, yeah, I'm looking forward to the movie because James Gunn is involved.
And John Byrne here.
Yeah, well,
John Byrne's art looks really good in black and white.
Yes, it does. Back in the day.
Yeah, well. Yeah. Huh. So the story? You want to talk about the story of this thing?
Sure, whatever.
You're not excited about the story of this?
I don't know. I'm just suddenly just hit a wall.
Uh-oh.
I'm just kind of done now.
Oh, no. Oh.
This is the worst episode we've done in a while.
Oh, everyone is.
This is the worst in a while.
I did not really care for the story in here that much. Like, I don't think it was bad. I just don't think it was up my alley, really.
Right.
Like, I like sci-fi that's either, like, the way this started off, just kind of weird and fucked up and crazy. I like sci-fi like that, or funny. And like, especially the second half, the Claremont Burns stuff, it was just, I don't know. It was just kind of there. Like, I thought it looked cool, but I thought it was way too wordy and a little boring. What'd you think?
I really like the first 30 pages or so written by Steve Englehart.
Yeah.
And for the most part, I agree with you about the rest of the story, the Chris Claremont story.
Yeah.
That it is pretty much just there.
Yeah.
And it contains every idiosyncratic quirk that Chris Claremont has that I find annoying as hell.
Oh, like overriding.
Overwriting, people with weird slang and accents, and just calling each other dumb fucking nicknames for no reason. It's a goddamn space opera. Why is the sentient ship calling Star-Lord Boyo? Repeatedly.
Yeah.
Or my love.
My love, yeah. Yeah.
And everyone drops the G's at the end of everything that they say. It is... I don't get why Chris Claremont insists on doing that in everything that he writes.
Do you think it's like him trying to prove he's hip or something, you know? Like
in 1977
right.
or whatever the fuck this was?
He's like, boyo, that's what the kids say.
Sure. I don't know. I mean, it's just, yeah, I mean, I'm sure if he could, he would have thrown in somebody just randomly speaking or throwing in German or Russian phrases for no reason. Because they're in deep space, of course they're going to have Earth accents.
Makes sense. I like that the guy's name's Kip. It reminded me of Kip Winger, and all of a sudden, like, the song Madeline got stuck in my head while I was reading this.
That song.
It was like a terrible Winger song.
Yeah, no, only one terrible Winger song.
17? Yeah. So yeah, I don't know, man. I read, did you read the introduction thing that Englehart wrote?
Uh-huh.
Where he was talking about
astrology.
Yeah. He was getting really into astrology and he even said, I forget if it was in this or I like read the Wikipedia page where he talked about it and he said, he was planning on like a whole series of books, like each one where Star-Lord goes to a different planet.
Right.
Like the Mars one, he would like go to have a war on Mars and, you know, like something related to the astrology.
Fall in Love on Venus.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, I mean, you know, maybe a little cheesy, but that's cool. He had some sort of big plan and he basically, did he get fired or what?
I think because the intro to the Chris Claremont section, the editor basically says that he just got busy doing other stuff.
Okay.
And so he just was unable to come back and do more Star-Lord.
Right. That's weird, though.
Yeah, it is. Because, I found that interesting. I found that whole first 30 pages to be just super interesting, and I wanted to see what that guy had more to say, you know?
Yeah, because it was really different.
Yeah.
And the hero was like...
an asshole.
Oh, yeah. And that's what he said. He was hoping to, like, start him out as a very unlikable, like, shitty character.
Yeah.
Or not a shitty character, but, you know, a shitty person.
Right.
And kind of build him and make him into this, like, hero by the end of the whole series, not the first story. And it's like, wow, that's pretty cool.
Right. And then this Chris Claremont comes in.
Yeah.
This young upstart nobody, Chris Claremont.
He doesn't even own a tarot deck, and he's writing Star-Lord.
And yeah, they just sort of turn it into your generic sci-fi space opera, which is not a thing I'm into.
Right, yeah.
I mean, yeah, I mean, in general, I just try to kind of avoid that kind of stuff.
Right.
And yeah, it's just so clean and crisp, and just everybody is just, golly gee, we're heroes.
Right. It's very Buck Rogers or
Right,
something.
yeah.
Like, I like sci-fi that has, like, a horror tinge. Like not necessarily, like, you know, a slasher film in space, but, like,
Right.
you know, although Leprechaun 4 was awesome. but I
Hey,
mean,
happy July 7th.
oh, yeah. It never ends. It's July. It's like 30 days long. 31? I don't know.
Yeah,
30. And,
whatever.
But yeah, it's like just kind of boring and just nothing really happens. I mean, they do their things, but it's not like interesting or weird or funny or it's just,
it's just so straightforward. I mean, it honestly is like reading any of his X-Men comics where they go to, you know, the Shi'ar planet, you know?
exactly.
I mean, it's just like that.
Right.
And like every place where he could make it something interesting, he just turns it into a deeper cliche. And it's
over the last couple of years, I think I've realized I don't really like Chris Claremont's writing. Like I remember when I was a kid loving his X-Men stuff, but everything we've read, which is 2 or 3 things now, I don't know. Both of them.
The Dead of Honor,
the Star Trek
graphic novel.
They're both just, I don't know. I'm just like, I'm not a fan anymore.
Yeah, I'm not either. Because I mean, you know, I loved his stuff as a kid on the X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, he got fired from that book, and I started reading Sovereign 7.
Oh, yeah, the DC one.
And, like, that was terrible, like, from the jump. And then, but, you know, I thought it was like, well, there's all these characters that I don't give a shit about, and at the same time, it seems like he's trying really hard to make them a lot like the X-Men.
He's like, I'm just going to make my own X-Men.
Right, yeah, and so it was, it just came off as lame.
Right.
You know, and then, you know, eventually when he went back to the X-Men, I was like, all right, here we go. You know, Chris Claremont back where he belongs. And I read those and I was like, these are terrible.
And does he still write?
He does not do anything.
Yeah.
He is under contract by Marvel. He gets paid by Marvel. But he does nothing.
Oh, there's
Marvel.
a gig.
Oh, yeah, there's a gig. But, you know, I'm sure he wants to be doing something.
So he's not allowed to, like, do a Dark Horse book without fulfilling his Marvel contract first?
I guess not, yeah. They just have him on staff as...
Maybe he's ghostwriting. Like, maybe he is the guy that writes Axe Cop as Micah. Like that.
Axe Cop is not a Marvel book.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Maybe he's going under assumed name so he can write. No.
Except Axe Cop is good.
Yeah, there'd be no way.
Chris Claremont has not been good in 20-some years.
Isn't that funny that there's no way Chris Claremont could write as well as that 5-year-old kid? It would be impossible. Or he's probably like 10 years old by now, but...
Right. I think Chris Claremont could still be a good writer if he just lost all the stuff that makes him Chris Claremont.
Right.
Which is just the heavy-handed dialogue.
Oh, so much.
Just the weird, shitty quirks that I kept mentioning. You know, the things that, you know, I mean, even in the X-Men, when I loved it, would still bother me. Like, you know, why would Nightcrawler just blurt out something in German for no reason? You know?
Like, this book is, like, even the Claremont section itself is broken up into, like, 4 chapters or something. And there's a couple of those where, you know, it's like a splash page when the chapter starts, and there's like a block of text, like kind of setting up the scene, and you're like, okay, I'll slag through it, and then you read that, and you like your eye looks over a little bit, and you're like, oh, there's another giant block of text on the same panel, like just adding unnecessary information to start the scene. It's like, okay, we can get this started, and then there's like a third one. I think I'm remembering this correctly. I don't know if I can flip through and find it, but. It just seemed so unnecessary.
I think for a guy who, I mean, admittedly, this was probably towards the beginning of his career, but still, you know, for someone who, you know, lived, breathed, and worked in comics, that he would realize it's a visual medium
Yeah.
sometime.
Right. I know. Like, the story has to flow. I can't find it. They're all like that.
Yeah.
Like, everyone I've looked at had, like, 4 blocks of text, but it's not the one I was looking for. But yeah, it's like, there has to be... he should just write novels, you know? I mean...
And he has. You know, he's got a series of novels out there somewhere, but, every comic that he writes is exactly like this, though.
Right.
You know, it's just full of captions and dialogue and thought balloons.
Oh, yeah.
All describing the same thing that's visually right there in the panel.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
That had to be frustrating for the artist because I'm sure, in addition to seeing all that text, there's a note from Chris Claremont saying, here's what you should draw in this panel.
Right,
It's like, no shit, I just read it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, at least back in the day, though, it was all Marvel style. So, you know, he was just writing the plots, and then the artist would break it down. However,
and then he would, go back and add the
yeah.
text. Yeah, that's right.
So it's basically as if, you know, he had the pages and then still didn't trust the artist to be able to convey what was happening.
He's like, no one's going to understand that.
Right. And I mean, you know, not that John Byrne is a great human being either, but, you know, I can see why he really hates Chris Claremont.
Oh, do they not get along anymore?
They do not.
They work together a lot, though.
Oh, yeah, they did. Like, even before this, they did Iron Fist and Power Man.
Oh, yeah. I forgot Iron Fist.
I think they did a couple of other things here and there before finally working on X-Men together. And, John Byrne does not like a Chris Claremont. Part of it is that he's just pissed off that he is forever going to be associated with him. And second off, that I think he feels that Chris Claremont is a terrible writer, and that he always felt he knew what was best, and Chris Claremont would just ruin it.
Right. Yeah. Huh. There seems to be a lot of those partnerships over the years at Marvel.
Yeah.
Where the artist is like, this writer guy, I could do this better than him. You know? But yeah, it was...
Yeah. I mean, it's fine.
Yeah. I don't necessarily, even after we settle that, I don't necessarily think it was bad. It's just...
Yeah, I don't either.
It's just not for me at all.
No, it's just... It's not fun.
No.
Like the Englehart story is kind of fun because it is just...
Weird.
It's weird, and then, like, you start reading it, and you're like, why the fuck is this happening? Just because everything is just so twisted and mean-spirited almost.
Right, yeah. Which I love in comics.
Oh, yeah, I do too.
Superhero comics, yeah.
Well, I mean, sometimes.
Well, yeah, I mean, you don't want...
It works here.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want Spider-Man just to be an asshole. You know,
right,
but...
yeah. But then, yeah, like I said, you know, the Chris Claremont story kicks off, and everything is just so straight down the middle.
Oh, yeah.
And then they change the origin of the character, so it's, you know, not quite as mean-spirited anymore.
Right.
But the character himself is just, you know, straight up heroic for the most part, at the beginning. And then, you know, it just turns into just a dumb soap opera.
With super cliches.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, I'm your father kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I don't mean kind of stuff, I mean,
That's
happens.
exactly what happens, yeah. So speaking of that, like, I wanted to try to research this, and I couldn't find anything about it. And I know that you're a huge fan, so maybe you can help me a little figure out the timeline, maybe?
No.
Because there is a ton of shit in the Chris Claremont story that feels like it is specifically ripped off of Star Wars.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's even a character that's called a Sith Lord in there.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, there's a revelation about someone's father.
Right.
You know, so when did Empire come out? I don't.
Empire was 80.
80?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is actually then before Empire.
Yeah.
But after Star Wars,
Right. 77 was Star Wars.
Yeah.
This was 70. Was this after 77?
Oh, man. I think the Englehart story was 74.
Yeah, I think it was earlier.
But the Claremont story maybe was 77?
Marvel Preview number 4 was 1976.
Okay.
So that was the first one.
Right.
So yeah, then
So
the
that
Claremont was after Star Wars.
All right.
So yeah, I don't know. Because it's like kind of right at the same time.
Right.
Huh.
And I know that in the Chris Claremont text piece, he talks about how he was influenced by Robert Heinlein.
Yeah.
And I did read something about it where Robert Heinlein sued Marvel.
Right. Yeah.
Because of this.
Because on the cover they put like in the vein of a Robert Heinlein book, and he's like,
Right.
"Fuck that."
Yeah. But yeah, like I just kept getting a weird Star Wars vibe throughout the entire thing.
For sure. For the Claremont part, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the first part almost seemed like, Swamp Thing in outer space,
Right.
with pissed off,
Right.
with Asperger's.
I call him Space Batman.
Space. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah,
It was cool to look at.
It's cool to look at. I mean, the art is gorgeous throughout.
All the way through.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the Steve Gans stuff is amazing. Just because I've never heard of that guy before.
Yeah, I'm gonna look him up and see what else he's done.
But I mean, the John Byrne stuff is equally as gorgeous and probably some of his best stuff.
Like I said, his stuff looks awesome in black and white.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of got tripped up a couple times just, staring at some of these giant panels and like,
Right.
These are amazing.
I mean, like when I was growing up, I loved John Byrne. He was definitely in my top 5 favorite artists of all time. As a kid, and nowadays I think he's not so great.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of appreciate his looser, sketchy stuff that he's
Right.
kind of grown accustomed to, but it's not the same.
Right. And I think, I mean, maybe his X-Men stuff is better than this, I don't know, but I haven't seen that in black and white. But I've seen this in black and white, and it's pretty fucking great.
Agreed. So,
So, yeah, I mean, if you're interested in the Star-Lord character, I guess it's fine.
I'm kind of glad I read it, though, because I've never read anything Guardians of the Galaxy related other than I read the Rocket Raccoon miniseries.
Right.
But I mean, I'm sure I'll see the movie, so this is nice to have a little bit of background on somebody.
I think you might really like the Keith Giffen series.
Mhm.
I mean, on top of the fact that it's a Keith Giffen series.
It's hard to go wrong with Keith Giffen.
Right. And it is setting up, what the Guardians of the Galaxy basically is, like with a lot of the same characters. Then I have the first Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning Guardians of the Galaxy trade, and it's fun. It's humorous and sci-fi and neat. Definitely taking the ball from Keith Giffen and running with it. I don't know a thing about the Bendis version, and I have very little interest in it.
Right.
Yeah. But I'm definitely going to see the movie.
Was it this year or next year?
Next year.
Next year. Okay.
Chris Pratt as Star-Lord and Michael Rooker as one of the original members of the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, okay.
From like the Jim Valentino.
Wow.
And before that,
Like probably the big guy with the gun, probably.
the guy with the mohawk.
Okay. Is Rocket Raccoon in the movie?
Uh-huh.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And Groot.
Awesome.
And I think Gamora. And I think that was it that I could remember.
Cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Looking forward to it. James Gunn, he's good.
Yeah. Seems like.
Yeah. I'm a fan. Star-Lord.
Yeah.
The Hollow Crown.
The Hollow Crown.
Yeah.
Not awful.
Not awful. Not
for
amazing.
Not for us.
No.
For the most part.
Right. It would be interesting, like if Steve Englehart, is he still alive?
I believe so. Yeah.
If he still did, I know one of the old school famous comic Steves has died, but is that Steve Grant or Steve somebody?
Steve Ditko is still around.
Steve Ditko's still around.
Who
created Howard the Duck?
Oh yeah, Steve Gerber. He's gone.
Steve Gerber. That's the one. Okay.
Yeah, he's gone.
So,
Gone but not forgotten.
Huh?
Gone but not forgotten.
Right.
We almost forgot him.
Yeah, we did.
Gone, but almost not forgotten.
So yeah, Steve Englehart, I think, is still alive. He should be interested to see if he would ever want to do, like what his original plan with Star-Lord was.
I wonder, though, if it's been like almost 40 years, if he's like, I'm really not into astrology anymore.
Right,
I just was kind of dating this hippie girl. And,
Right.
Yeah. Just trying to get in her pants.
Yeah, that's true. We're all not the same people we were 40 years ago.
Right. It's true.
All right, let's take a break.
Let's do that.
Love that episode.
Nobody gonna take my car, we're gonna race into the ground.
welcome back to Daily Crash.
Hi.
We're here.
We're queer.
Get used to it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Hey, we can get married now.
yeah, that's right.
No, we can't, actually.
We can't?
No.
Not here, at least.
Not here.
Yeah.
Not in Ohio, as far as I know. Which is weird. You have a gay couple friend who got married. Did they get married here?
In Ohio, I watched it.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's, how did that happen?
We did it in secret. It was an underground lair.
Okay.
No, I think it was more of a union ceremony type thing, but there was a preacher there. He did the ceremony. So I don't know.
But I mean, are they legally married here, then? Or are they recognized as a couple?
I think so. Yeah,
Okay.
I think so.
They can file their taxes jointly and get on each other's healthcare plans and.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, they somehow circumvented the.
However, they bucked the system.
Right.
Good on them.
Yeah.
At least now, though, the Supreme Court will allow them to continue to be married and recognize them as a legal couple.
Right.
So that's good.
Yeah, it is good. I'm just confused how, it seems like some of the thinking is 100 years behind.
Oh yeah, of course.
You just look around, you're like, okay, we're pretty modernized as a society.
Right.
Are there really people that just can't get behind gays being a couple anymore?
Right. Well, what is the big deal?
Right.
Who are they hurting? And, how is it affecting you,
Oh,
I mean,
or even,
well, I mean,
yeah.
Their whole, point of view is that, oh my god, it's the dissolution of the institution of marriage.
Right.
And, next thing you know, we'll all be marrying cats and cockroaches.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's no.
No, probably not.
Yeah.
At least not for 20 years.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I like cats, but they're kind of assholes when it comes to being in a partnership.
But what if there was, you met a really rich cat that would, let you be, it'd be like your sugar kitty.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean...
You stay at home, draw all day,
And it goes out and makes money and
right.
treats me nice.
All you gotta do is, keep a warm saucer of milk out for when he gets home.
I could get into that,
Yeah,
sure.
I would go for a sugar kitty. But yeah, no, I'm glad.
Yeah, I mean, it's, it only seems right.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. What's
I know, right? It's just bizarre to me. It's whose business? How is that anyone else's business other than theirs?
Right, yeah.
It's nobody's.
Exactly. We shouldn't even be talking about it.
Right? Because
who cares?
Yeah, because we're just two dudes.
We're also just dumb.
Yeah, it's true. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Still can't believe we can let blacks vote, though.
I know. No. I was like, should I play along? I don't even know. People would confuse that as just. Because people are that stupid out there. They're like I am for gays. Yeah, that's cool, but blacks, no.
Right.
It's I've met people that I'm like, wow, this person is really open minded, and then they say something about, gays that they're like.
Right.
I'm just like, how can you be that backwards in one element and pretty right on in most other?
I couldn't let us, continue to be a positive force for anything. I just had to bring it down with my terrible joke.
I saw something funny today. I was walking my dog this morning at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
This is a Sunday.
Yeah.
9 a.m.
It was 2.5 hours after I went to bed.
Right. And I was walking down the street, and I see a fella approaching on the sidewalk, gonna pass us as we walk. And so I, kind of wound him in a little bit so she wouldn't, jump on him or whatever.
Right.
And we got over to him.
As you do.
Yeah, I always do that.
Right.
And whenever we got close to him, he was like, "Oh, pretty doggy." And he wasn't trying to pet her or anything, but he was he stopped to look at her. So I kind of stopped for a second.
Right.
And I realized I looked over at him and I recognized this guy. He used to bring his kids into my work at Mavericks to buy cards or whatever, but I haven't seen him in a long time. And I look over at him and I'm like, I think this guy is drunk.
Huh?
Because just like the way he was standing and like talking, and he just seemed a little odd and really loose, you know?
Right.
And I was like, no, this is 9 a.m. on a Sunday. Then no. And then, and he's like talking to me for a second, and then he pulls a flask out of his pocket, and then says something about it, like makes a comment about it, and then just walks on down the sidewalk. And I was like, huh? 9 a.m. on a Sunday.
It's a holiday weekend.
It's true.
Just probably non-stop since Thursday.
Possibly.
Yeah.
But I was like, it just took me by surprise.
I mean, haven't you ever... And, I mean, I've done this, and you know me, I barely leave the house, and I don't want to talk to people, but, you know, I've been at a friend's house or at a party where I've gotten so drunk, and that even by the next morning, I am still drunk.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, and you walk home
Right,
with your flask still in your pocket?
Sure.
Maybe that's what happened?
Could be.
I like that a little better, because, like, it made me kind of feel bad. I was like, oh, man. Like, I was like, in my head, I'm creating these scenarios, like, I haven't seen him in years with his kids because he's, you know, become this alcoholic, and, like, his kids are taken away from him, and, like, I'm just thinking about all these things, and I'm like, oh, my God. So I hope he's okay.
Yeah, I'm sure he's fine.
He's probably passed out right now.
Probably.
Because that was, like, 10 hours ago. So, yeah. So, that was interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. What else? What do you got going on?
Somebody threw a beer can at me yesterday.
Was it? Whatever it was this guy.
It could be.
Wait, how early was it?
It was about 3 o'clock.
Oh, he was already passed out by then.
Yeah, I was just, you know, the listener might know that I live right across the street from a grocery store, and I was just walking over there to grab some lunch, and the traffic was kind of heavy right in front of the, you know, on the main road there, and so I was just waiting to cross, and some guy just tossed out an empty beer can right at me as he drove past.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Man, the listener's going to think Dayton is just... Well, I mean, correctly think that Dayton is just full of alcoholics and ne'er-do-wells.
Yeah, it is. They're not wrong.
Oh. It's too bad.
He's kind of natural light.
Oh, well, hey, at least he's doing the light beer.
Right.
He's watching his figure.
It happened too fast. I couldn't see if it was the driver or the passenger.
Oh, it was the driver.
Probably.
Yeah. Oh, man. That's awful.
Yeah, that's about the only thing that's happened here.
Huh.
It was 4th of July, and I did nothing because nobody invited me anywhere.
Aw.
So, you know, yeah.
Well, I don't do 4th of July style stuff, or I would have invited you.
I don't do 4th of July or 4th of July style stuff either, but you know, some people do a cookout. I like to eat free hot dogs.
Yeah. I watched Independence Day with my girlfriend.
Yeah, I know you did.
Yeah, that was pretty fun.
She vetoed your choice of documentary.
I don't know what I was thinking. It's Independence Day. I might as well watch ID4. You know, that's a fun movie. It's a really fun movie.
It's related to the holiday.
I just, like, I've got on this kick because she's got, you know, Netflix streaming, and every time I go over there, I'm like, wow, we should watch a documentary, because there's, like, 1,000 documentaries on there I want to see. So I just think of that every time I go there. But
I got Netflix streaming. We usually just watch nothing or Get a Life.
Well, Get a Life is better than any documentary I've ever seen.
Yeah, she told me that. She was like, yeah, Jason said, let's watch a documentary. And I was like, what is wrong with that kid?
Don't worry, I was quickly watching Randy Quaid and Will Smith movie.
Very good.
I leveled off. It was good.
Yeah, so what's going on new with you, maybe?
Nothing really. I mean, quit Mavericks this week.
What?
That was kind of probably the biggest thing that happened.
These words that you just said, they're not registering with me.
Yeah, me neither. Like, I don't think I quite... Like, I keep waking up going, I dreamed I quit Mavericks. And then I'm like, oh, yeah. I mean, I didn't, like, just storm out and quit. I put in my 2 weeks notice.
Right.
So I'm still there for a couple of weeks. But, yeah.
And you could go back, because you left on good terms.
Yeah. He actually asked me, like, he's like, that's fine, but could you work, like, a couple shifts for a couple months if we need you? So, yeah. Yeah. It's weird. After more than 2 decades of working there.
Right.
I got a real job.
Wow.
Yeah.
By real job, you don't really mean a real job.
It's not like a number crunching 9 to... Well, it's kind of a 9 to 5. It's a day job, 40-hour week kind of day job.
But, I mean, you're not, dealing with the general public or,
No.
Providing any kind of useful service or anything like that, right?
Actually, I am. Yeah.
I mean, do you help in any way, progress the military-industrial complex?
Probably not.
That's not a real job.
Although I can see Rat Pad Air Force Base from my new job.
Yeah, I can see that from my parents.
But yeah.
So what are you doing?
I'm going to be doing some more art instruction, possibly regular scholastic instruction.
You never went to college.
I never did. Well, I did.
You've never graduated.
I've never graduated. But yeah, it's a place that's like a transitional school between high school and college for developmentally disabled. And
oh, okay. I get it now.
And they...
Because you're in that transitional phase, too.
I am. I have lots of experience with...
dealing with the mentally challenged.
Mentally challenged. I've worked at Mavericks forever. No,
you live with your mom.
I live with my mom. Are you saying my mom is mentally challenged?
No, I'm saying that you are in a transitional phase. Since you were 18.
It's true. It's true. Yeah, I can totally relate to a transitional, yeah. But yeah. That's pretty much it. I'm gonna try it, see what happens.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sort of what I've been doing for 2 years as a side job anyway.
Right.
Or a year and a half, whatever. But yeah, this will be a little more often and a little more hands-on and I'm pretty excited about it.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
It's gonna change everything, and I don't think we could be friends anymore.
Right. Well, obviously.
But I am still proud of you, and I will miss our friendship.
What?
So, this is the final episode of Good or Trash.
Right, well, yeah. Well, no, I guess still got 2 weeks.
Still got 2 weeks,
Yeah.
Because, you're not going to be able to steal any more books.
I know. How am I going to do this?
All right.
I'm going to just, get stuff from the library all the time. That Washington Centerville library actually has a ton of good graphic novels. Huh? They've got, shelves and shelves of them.
I think that's one of the libraries I'm not allowed to go to.
You're so cool. Ladies, he's banned from all the libraries. He's a bad boy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
You've almost since you and I have been doing this, you have talked about your dream of one day quitting Mavericks.
Yeah.
At least ever since the magic explosion.
Right.
So you finally did it, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm gonna have to close my file at Mavericks now.
I will eventually too, when my store credit runs out, probably.
Right. I was doing my not that I'm buying a ton of stuff there anymore, but I still have my file and I still pull a couple books from there.
You still help the cause there.
Right. But I have I think 3 comics on my pull list at Mavericks.
Mm-hmm.
One of which is just because, like, I don't know when the hell it ever comes out. Aliens vs. Parker.
Oh, yeah. And number 3 comes out this week, I think.
I thought it came out last week.
Oh, maybe.
I hope you put it in my pile.
I haven't seen it.
No.
I think it was on our list for next week.
Okay. Then the Five Ghosts, which actually I just needed like 2 issues pulled for that, and then I started ordering it through my mail order service.
Through your real place.
Right, yeah. Where I get a much nicer discount. And don't have to deal with magic people smelling up my air. And then Mind Management, which is like, it's like, this is the one book that I'm going to support at Mavericks, and that's, like, as long as that book's come out, that is where I'm going to get it from Mavericks.
Yeah.
Except yesterday, I did my order for September, and I had to add Mind Management back.
Uh-oh. So you're still going to get one in August from Mavericks?
Oh, yeah, because also there's like 2 issues of Captain Marvel and Avengers Assemble that I don't have pre-ordered yet, so I'm going to have to get those at Mavericks as well.
Right.
But then, yeah, I have made sure now that I will no longer be getting any monthly anything from Mavericks.
It's crazy.
So, yeah, as soon as I'm done doing that, and I buy... I think I have like 3 trades in there somewhere.
Right.
And as soon as I buy all those, I'm done.
Wow.
Me and Mavericks, we're no more.
Wow. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I've been shopping there since 1997.
I've been shopping there since 85.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that just to, like, compare and contrast with you, because you're going to win no matter what.
No, I wasn't.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I've been shopping there.
Yeah.
Like long before you and I were friends.
Right.
That was my comic shop. And now that you're no longer going to work there,
it's weird.
I am no longer going to shop there.
Man. Well, that makes me feel kind of good, I guess. I don't know. Like you come in just for me now, I guess. But yeah, it's going to be strange.
Mm-hmm.
I'm super excited, though.
Like I said, I'm super proud of you. You did it.
I did it. Without a suit, even.
It's upsetting. So upsetting.
You should have seen me. I YouTubed how to tie a tie, and before I went to my job interview, and it took me I put on I was trying it, and I did it like 3 times, and every time it was like it came out like the tie is like 3 inches long instead of 12 inches or whatever, and I was just getting frustrated, so I was like, I regrouped. I put on my favorite Pandora station. I was like, whew, took a deep breath, and I was like, okay, I can do this. Because it was like 20 minutes before I had to be there.
Right.
And it's like a 15-minute drive. So I finally got my tie tied right before I drove out there. And I wooed him. I jazzed it up.
That's cool. You should have worn a suit.
But maybe they wouldn't have given me the job if I had the suit, because they were like, oh, this is way too much,
Well, maybe they would have told you how much they're going to pay you if you were wearing a suit. Instead of just hiring you and you have no idea what you're going to be making.
Yeah, at least minimum wage, I assume.
Well, you're living with your mom. That's fine.
Right.
I wouldn't be able to live on minimum wage if I lived with my parents.
You would?
I would.
Yeah.
Which may be happening. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I am in a bad situation.
Well, there's a position open in Mavericks. You have to know a little bit about magic.
I know how to pull a quarter from behind your ear.
Well, that's pretty magical.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's probably going to be my big news for the week, I would imagine.
It's pretty big news.
Yeah. I think I told you this last night. I did 2 things I've never done before, and I did them both this week. I quit a job and had a job interview.
Right.
Yeah. So that was different.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
you feeling all right?
I am. I kept expecting to have a little sensation where I'm like, what am I doing?
Right.
I can't change and uproot my repetitive, stagnant existence like this.
Right.
But so far, I've just been like, hells yeah, for like 4 or 5 days now.
Yeah, I mean, you did work there for 20-some years.
Oh.
I mean, that's a thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, very few people on our age ever say that.
Most people own a golden Buckeye card that could say that.
Right, yeah.
I have AARP mail.
Yeah. I mean, I've worked at my current job for 7 years as of next week. And that's the longest I've ever stayed at one job. And I am looking to get out.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I am afraid.
Yeah?
Yeah.
To change, or of what you'll have to change to?
Both.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what I am good at anymore. I don't know that anything that I do at my current job is anything that I am qualified to do anywhere else.
There's a lady that comes in Mavericks that gets paid to go to the green and watch movies.
Really?
Yeah,
I want to do
yeah,
that.
Yeah.
I would even put up with bullshit people sitting behind me or next to me.
Maybe I'll ask her if I see her in the next couple of weeks. Like, how do you get in on that gig?
Right, yeah.
But
I know there are people who do like secret shopper things.
All right.
You know, and I mean that is a thing at movie theaters too, where you go in and you get paid to be there, but you're also supposed to make sure that all the employees are doing the things that they're supposed to, and when you go to the concession stand, that they give you the mandated spiel that they're supposed to give you.
The upsize thing.
Right, yeah, for 50 cents more, you can get a large, and blah, blah, blah. And, because I've had to deal with them back when I dealt with customers. And, you'll get written up if you don't do it right.
That's kind of fucked up.
Oh, yeah, it is. I remember when I worked at the hotel, I had to deal with one, and they called right at a time where just everything was going wrong. And also, I worked third shift, so basically nobody ever called. So this woman calls, wants to set up a reservation, but I couldn't set up a reservation for her because everything was broken. And I tried telling her this, and she refused to listen to me, and then I got mad at her, and I just told her flat out what was happening. And then she was like, this is a secret customer call, and I was like, I don't care, and I hung up on her, and then I got in trouble.
Wow, she's like, you realize even though you're having a bad night, and I don't really have to be calling right now, I'm just doing it to add stress to your job.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
It was like, at that point, I was like, then, I mean, if you're not even a real customer, and I've told you that there are issues happening and that I can't deal with you, the fact that you keep insisting, fuck you.
Right, yeah.
Because at that point, why am I even going to pretend to be nice anymore?
Right. She's just sitting in her house getting paid to harass you.
Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, it's a thing. You can do that.
I gotta find out how to get in on that.
Yeah.
Well, I wish you luck. I mean, yeah, I know things get stagnant after a while. Like I don't think I'll stay at this job more than, I'd say, 18, 19 years, this new one. I'm not gonna cut it a little short, yeah.
Of course, that means that in 18, 19 years you have to find a completely different career to go into.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm sure by then I can, there's all these new technologies I could just,
computer programming or something, just something you've never had any experience with.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's not so much that the job is stagnant, it's just that I can't afford to keep working there.
Okay, right. Well, that's even worse, probably.
Yeah. Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, the job is kind of stagnant, but, the main thing is that I can no longer actually afford to go to work.
Well, because you drive quite a ways.
Yeah.
Right.
And just my bills are piling up, and I'm out of control and dying.
Aww. Well, hopefully the art commissions will start rolling in.
That would be nice. It's not going to happen.
You got one this week?
I got one. That bought me a sandwich today.
Yeah. See, you're no longer a starving artist. You're a halfway fed artist?
Yeah, that's it. I've got one commission that I have done that I would like to get paid for, but the guy refuses to email me back. And it's for a thing that I cannot sell to anyone else ever.
Because it's very personal to him.
Very personal, yeah.
Right.
It's super customized for that guy. And he refuses to get back to me, so I hope he's dead. Because otherwise there's no fucking excuse.
Well, what if he is dead?
Good? Then I can totally understand why he won't get back with me.
Well, that's very understanding of you. Because who would expect him to if he was dead?
Right.
You know. Oh, man. Oh, yeah. All right.
Yeah. So I should pick a movie?
Sure, yeah. I like watching movies.
Yeah, so do I. And once again, I am having trouble deciding between two movies here.
I'd say the second one. Because if you thought of the first one and you still weren't completely satisfied and you thought of the second one, then it's probably the second one.
No.
No?
No,
Yeah?
you're wrong. Because I thought of the first one like 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, okay.
And I did a coin toss and picked The Abominable Dr. Phibes under the presumption that we would watch the other choice this time.
Oh, okay.
But I've been wanting to watch this for a while. But my fear is that if I don't pick it, like, it will suddenly just go away from Netflix and I won't be able to watch it. And then the other one is a movie that I've rented from Netflix and I have the physical disc of.
It's already here.
And it's already here. Well, I mean, they're both here.
Okay.
Because one's on Netflix and the other one is on a disc. But the thing is, I should probably return the disc at some point. And if I don't pick that one, then, I'm going to have to watch it by myself. Which I don't know if I want to watch it. But, I feel like it might be a good or trash pick.
Sounds like a classic dilemma.
Yeah. So.
Another coin toss?
Might be.
I think I've got a coin.
Or maybe I can ask you just which movie you prefer to watch.
Really?
Yeah.
This is a
new thing.
Unprecedented move.
Alright. So I'm going to give you both my options, and you're going to pick the one that you want to watch.
Wow, okay.
And then, I'll just watch the other one by myself, or you can just hang out and watch it with me, and we don't review it.
Listener, I'm going to pick the second one no matter what. I'm just kidding.
Oh, no, I'm just not going to pick that.
I'm just kidding. I'll pick which one sounds better.
Alright. Well, I'm afraid then you've already made up your mind then as soon as I tell you what they are.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because they're both vastly different.
Okay.
And also, I don't know what the other one is.
Oh. Well, how do you know they're different?
And I know who directed it.
Maybe they're not different.
But I don't know they're different.
Okay.
Alright. So the first movie that I want to pick is called They Might Be Giants.
Oh.
And it is a movie from the 70s, starring George C. Scott as a guy who thinks he is Sherlock Holmes. And he is trying to solve murders, even though he's not Sherlock Holmes.
Okay.
And then the other movie is called Wrong. And it is directed by Quentin Dupieux, whatever, who directed the movie Rubber.
Okay.
And I don't know anything else other than that.
Wow. Okay, those both sound great.
Yeah.
Because only recently, like in the last year, did I find out that the term They Might Be Giants was something other than a band name.
Right.
Like I thought they just made up a band name. And ever since I heard that, I was like, oh, I'd like to see that then.
Right.
But then again, Rubber.
Right.
Fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a tough one.
See?
Yeah, I see your dilemma.
Yeah.
Man. Now I feel like if I do pick the wrong one, I mean, like, literally the one called wrong.
Right.
You'll think I'm just picking it because it is the second one.
No, yeah, I understand your dilemma.
Yeah.
Because this is my dilemma.
Yeah. Huh. What if we let the listener decide?
That's not going to be good. Also, because nobody ever talks to us.
Oh. How about if no one writes in which to watch either one? And you have to hear us just talk about ourselves. We'll just describe ourselves for We'll each have 45 minutes to.
All right. Like I describe you and you describe me.
Yeah, okay. Sure, yeah.
That'd be creepy.
No, I think wrong sounds better to me.
Wrong?
Yeah.
All right. Then that's what we're going to watch.
Awesome.
Wrong.
Cool.
All right.
Well, thanks for letting me participate in your
problem.
choice.
Yeah.
Should I do the same next time?
No, you don't have
Okay.
to.
But
if you feel like it,
but it's allowed.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Okay. Awesome. Because I know the next comic I'm picking.
Right.
And then haven't decided on the movie yet.
Yeah, I have no idea what my next comic is going to be.
Awesome. Well, yeah. Wrong.
Wrong.
Is that, do you know, well, we can talk about it. I was going to say, do you know if that's his only other movie, or?
Rubber?
That's it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Sweet.
All right.
Looking forward to it.
Me too. All right, then. We're
gonna go shoot off some fireworks in the alley?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to go do.
Yeah, because that's not annoying.
Nope, not at all.
Yeah.
Fucking Dayton, man.
It's all beer cans and wrong day fireworks here.
All right, goodbye. Thank you for listening to Gutter Trash. You can subscribe to the show from guttertrash.net or from iTunes and leave us a review. Visit guttertrash.net for email information, links to our Facebook and Twitter pages, and for other podcasts and websites in the Gutter Trash Network. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.